Hello, Eman. Welcome to this
Hi,
lovely little Facebook chat in your beautiful Parisian background here.
thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Cool. Well, you introduce yourself to everyone, who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Okay, I am Eman Ismail. I'm an email conversion strategist and copywriter, which basically means I write money making, relationship building emails for business owners and e-commerce brands.
That is a great introduction. I love it. So what was happening in your life and in your business when you joined Confident Copywriting? Because you've been a member for a while now.
Yeah, I think a year and a half I have been a member now. So when I first joined Confident Copywriting, I had just left a full-time job. I'd been running the communications department of a charity, and I left that job without any savings, with no backup, knowing that, I hadn't planned to, I hadn't quite planned to leave like that. But it got to just life. So I decided to set up my own business because I'd wanted to do it for so long, but I never had the confidence. I didn't have the confidence. I'd actually tried at least 2 times before to set up a copywriting business, and it just didn't work, never worked. And by this point, I was working this full-time job that had me exhausted, and I was working 12-hour days. I'd come home to my 2-year-old and he would be fast asleep on the chair because he refused to go to bed until I got home. So he'd be trying to stay awake on the sofa, and I'd get home to him asleep. And it was horrible. And I was really unhappy. And it was actually someone at work who told me to stop complaining about just my life. And I thought, you know what, that's really good advice. Let me do something about this unhappiness. And I handed in my resignation. Yeah, I know. So, 2 months later, I was sat in this basement office that someone had really kindly let me work in. And I had no idea what I was doing, but I had been listening to the Hot Copy podcast for about 6 months, and I had literally flown through all the episodes. And by the time I was up to date with the episodes that you're putting through, I kind of thought, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. I felt like I had the start that I needed, and that I could potentially make something of this. So I did it. One day I was scrolling through Instagram, and a post of yours came up saying, join my Confident Copywriting group. It's a private coaching group, and I teach you how to be a confident copywriter and how to run your copywriting business. And I just thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford this, but I'm going to click on it anyway. And I just scrolled right through this, you just scroll through the sales page and go right down to the bottom and check the price. And I checked the price, and it was so affordable that I just, I closed my LinkedIn premium account because it was doing nothing for me, and switched over to sign up for Confident Copywriting. And that was that. And at that point, I was charging £10 an hour. £10 an hour I was charging. Yeah. And I didn't know, I was working with clients who were kind of, that I knew from my professional life before Inkhouse. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know even how to have a conversation with them about money. I felt terrible even sending invoices because I felt like I was begging them for money. I just had no idea how to even have conversations around money. And it got to the point where I looked at the amount of money I was making versus how much I was working. And I just thought, this can't be right. There's something I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
I need help.
I love that. And I love that you reached out to get help as well, because I think a lot of people just stay in that zone of like, well, before I get to be successful, then I need to live on the brink of poverty like some kind of starving artist, or a beginner copywriter mustn't be paid well. That is the order of things. And it's just not, because so much of it, as you so rightly pointed out, is having conversations around money, understanding, like we talk about this, understanding your value, but being confident in what you're actually bringing to the table. But just being able to get out of your own way, have some scripts, have some templates, and go, all right, I can have this conversation now. So I love that you reached out. And how did you... I love that you went to saw an Instagram post and went to the page as well. Yeah. So check this out. What were you looking for? Even though you said you weren't necessarily looking for a group, you were just looking for help in general. You're a smart woman. So how did you evaluate a copywriting support group, and how did you make a decision?
So for me, the coach was really important. And I feel like that's because of my relationship with education. I was always very academic. I was always a bit of a teacher's pet. I like being teacher's pet. I feel safe when I'm I feel safe when I'm learning and I'm under a teacher or a mentor or a guide of some sort. So I knew that I needed a teacher or a mentor. I wanted someone to show me the way. And I really strongly believe in investing in yourself. And I really strongly believe in, you know, if people have already done the thing that you're trying to do, why would you spend years trying to do it yourself instead of just seeking help and going to the person who can show you how to do it faster?
Yeah. No need to struggle. Take the shortcut.
Yeah. Exactly. And then the other thing was I was really lonely. I didn't know how, I'm not great at socializing anymore. I'm a workaholic as well. So especially at that point when I was working all the time for very little money, and I just felt like I had to work to make honestly minuscule amount of money. So I didn't have a social life, and I missed talking to people, and I missed having friends, and I missed talking to people who actually understood what I did and that I could have business conversations with.
Yeah.
And so the idea of joining a community where there were other copywriters who were at my stage going through the same thing, and we were all being, you know, guided by a coach or a mentor, that really appealed to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know relatively recently in your membership, you've met your business bestie in the group.
Oh yeah.
Nicola.
Yeah.
I think that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Because internet friends can be the best friends. Like, and
yeah.
I think it sounds like, you know, in the olden days when I got started, those kind of connections seemed a bit weird, but now it's just common. And when you meet people that you can click with and get extra support from a social point of view, it's really important, because it's not just about the things and the resources and the other people in the group. I love that you guys sparked this little connection. I remember you sharing a little Insta story of you all going shopping together when we could do that.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah, we met up in real life. And I was just going to say that the people in Confident Copywriting are so lovely. I have so many friends in there that are genuinely my friends, that I consider as friends. And I get on amazingly with Brie in particular as well. And I knew that Nicola and Brie would get on. So they hadn't really spoken in the group. So I introduced them, and now they get on like a house on fire.
Oh,
so
I'm not surprised.
All three of us honestly talk every day about our businesses, about we share like really deep and personal stuff about, you know, how much we make every month and you know, how to get to the next level. And it's great because there's a bit of healthy competition in there as well. And we all really spur each other on. And I just think that friendship is and that relationship and having those business besties is just invaluable.
It's a gift. It certainly is. And I love that. Like you, the three of you and so many other copywriters in the group, you're serving the same audience and you're doing the same things. And like you and Nicola are in the same country, but that just shows the potential of a really good copywriting community where everyone's just being lifted up. Like you're talking about nurturing and helping and leveling each other up. It's not a matter of like, you can't look at my homework. And that's one of the things I love, how often there's a question in the group where someone might go, I did this thing and it worked really well, and here are all my notes.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
Exactly.
That's one of the things I love too. So now I remember you, when not long after you joined, you mentioned that you were trying to decide between groups, because obviously and it's one thing I love about the industry, there are multiple copywriting groups that you can join, free and paid. So what was it about Confident Copywriting? Like you mentioned the mentor, so that we had a connection, but was there anything else that helped you choose while you were comparing?
Yeah, it was the size of the group, because a lot of the other groups that I was looking at had hundreds and hundreds of people in the group. And I looked at the numbers and I figured, well, I'd rather be in a smaller group and feel like I'm seen and heard and that, you know, I'm getting the support that I need, than a group with hundreds of people, you know, 200 plus people, where I feel like I'm drowning in all the voices. So that was a really important, an important factor for me.
Yeah, and I totally hear that. And it was something that came up in a conversation within the group recently, because I love the fact that the group is relatively small, because I can respond to posts and I can add value and insight, and I have enough brain space with the group size to go, oh hey, how did that thing go? Like, how did you go with that client? So I love that as well. But I love getting to know everyone in the group and the way everyone contributes. So thank you for mentioning that. And how has your business developed while being in the group? What kind of results have you seen? Because I mean, we had a little chat very early on when I was like, you need to up your rates, girl. So there's that kind of like conversation from there, but your business is really going through some strong evolutions as well. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, before joining Confident Copywriting, I think I was charging £10 an hour. Then I went up to 15, then 20, and I just didn't know what I was doing. So one of the first conversations I had with you was, how do I price this thing? And what was great actually was that I booked in an extra coaching session with you. So I paid a little bit more and I got a discount for being a part of Confident Copywriting as well. And so I got to have that one-on-one chat with you for half an hour about how do I raise my rates? And literally within 2 weeks, I just want to say a family member thought I was crazy for even just paying for a coaching call, because she just didn't get, why would you want to pay for a coaching call? I made that investment back 10 times over within 2 weeks.
I love that.
That is the benefit and the value of just talking to someone who knows more than you, who can guide you through a process. And
also, just quickly, sometimes the people who love us the most just do not get it. They don't get it.
Exactly. It's so true. It's so true. And that's why you need a sounding board as well. You need other copywriters who understand, firstly, what it is you do, because that's a whole other conversation in itself. Yes. And then secondly, people who understand the issues that you're going through. But the next thing is, within 4 or 5 months of being part of the group, I had my best financial month ever. And you helped me, I think it was increase my rates by I times 4. I don't know how to say that. I increased my
quadrupled.
Times 4. Quadrupled. That's the word. Thank you. I was like, what is that word again? I quadrupled my rates within a few months of being part of Confident Copywriting. And I think the biggest thing since is, firstly, I'm confident in calling myself a copywriter. And I was actually reflecting on this earlier today. And I think when I joined, I was trying to be a confident copywriter. Now I am a confident copywriter.
I love that so much. And where do you think that confidence has come from? Because, for a lot of people looking at what you were doing, even when you joined the group, to think that you weren't confident then would be quite surprising. So where's the shift happened? What do you think has contributed to that shift in how you really feel?
Oh, wow. That's a hard question. I feel like, I think it's a time thing, firstly, like it comes with time. But it's also about how you spend that time, I think. I've surrounded myself with really talented, clever people, many of whom are doing a lot better than me. And just being in that space of having people to look up to and think, yes, that's where I want to be, and trying to reach that level all the time is so beneficial for me. And I feel like that's where I thrive, being able to, have those conversations and share those insights with people. Like you said, in the group, nobody holds anything back. It's a really safe space where everyone just lets everything go. And I think one of the most important things has been, I have learned to say no. So I no longer work with people who can't afford me. As a matter of fact, I have a virtual assistant who actually just sifts through those inquiries. So people don't even get to speak to me until we've ascertained whether they can afford my rates. And if they can't, my VA will send them on to potentially junior copywriters who they potentially can afford. But like, to me, that was like something I would never even have thought of doing a few months ago. I'm protective of my time. I respect my own time. I respect my skill. And I think that's come from, I've worked really hard to be a better copywriter. I have really, I told myself this year I would dedicate to just honing my craft and becoming an amazing copywriter. And with the work and also the financial investment that I put into becoming a better copywriter, the more I appreciate what a skill this is. Mm-hmm. And the easier it is for me to say no to people, to respect my own time, to say no to projects, even when, you know, sometimes you have those moments where you don't have a lot of projects. Before, I would have desperately just taken anything, and now I'm able to hold my ground and still say no.
And I love that. I love that so much, because there's a couple of elements in there as well, where it's not just, you don't just come into a group and have me go, put up your rates, respect your time, turn away those clients who can't afford you. That's not how you run a strong business. But I love the elements that you pulled out about respecting your time, being clear on your value, and making all your processes more efficient, so that by the time you are talking to someone, by the time you are putting a proposal together, it's pretty much like it's so much further down the line. And respecting your time isn't just about you, but you have a young son. And so one of the conversations we had recently is about, well, you have to make a choice. Do you have a conversation with that person, or do you spend some time with your son? And that's how we begin to respect and value our time. And it might not be, if you don't have a family, that's cool, but you might want to do something else apart from work. Can you imagine that?
I know.
But it's really hard to say no to people. So I love that you're bringing that efficiency, that process efficiency, still with confidence and kindness and respect in there for the clients and for yourself. So I think that's absolutely stellar. So I know you're a member of multiple groups at the moment. Multiple as in, like, it's probably just two, I don't know. But what I wanted to talk about that very quickly, because it's not, you don't have to choose just one. Like, different groups will give you different things. So I guess, can you talk to how confident copywriting supports you in a way that makes it something you keep investing in alongside other groups?
Okay, well, first, yeah, so I'm actually part of I'm actually part of a couple of paid groups, but I'm really active in just one other group. So the Confident Copywriting I'm really active in, and then this other one as well. And for me, I am still with Confident Copywriting because I've seen the value that I get. I've seen the return on investment, so I'm already convinced by that. And then I love having you as a teacher and a coach and a mentor, firstly. And I love the community, and it's such a safe space. It's the place that I go to when I don't want to be judged, when I just want to honestly let my guard down and not worry about what other people think about me or my writing, or whatever else that I'm feeling insecure about.
Yeah.
I can go to Confident Copywriting and know that I have a supportive group there. And also, I just want to point out that I've had a couple of meltdowns in the past year, and Belinda has honestly, you go above and beyond, and you find personalized videos in your inbox of Belinda walking you through whatever it is that you're experiencing. And I know I'm not the only one that you've done that for. And so just having that level of support where it doesn't just end on Facebook, in the Facebook group, is something you really don't find very often. And then of course there's all the deliverables, there's the guest interviews, there's the content that you put out every month, the business builders, help with the copywriting skills, the hot seats, the reviews that you do of our work.
All the things.
Yeah.
But I love all the words you just used, just in terms of safe space, no judgment, where you can let your guard down, because it's so hard having the PR version of our business face on all the time. So I love that there's a space where you can just kind of come in, and sometimes it's like, I just landed a really big project, or I just had my first 10K month, or I don't know what I'm doing and I need some help, because you need to not be judged when you're reaching out for help. And so it's really important to me that the group provides that. So thank you for saying that. Now, from a business development point of view, what are you working on right now? Because we're like new level, new devil. We should always be tinkering with things. What's your focus now?
So the main thing that I want to do is create a stable income. So I've had my best financial month, and now I want to make that my every month. So I'm working towards that, and I'm doing that by building my authority by going on podcasts and by guest posting and by doing a lot of guest interviews on other people's platforms and showing up in front of other people's audiences. Today, I released my first ever email teardown, where basically I reviewed Kylie Jenner's company's emails and her email sequences, and just doing things that make me feel a little bit uncomfortable so that I can go to new places, basically. Yes. So that is my plan. And that's what I'm working on.
I love it. And for anyone watching, you need to get on Eman's email list. She is a fantastic email copywriter, and you can see that for yourself in her own email list. And what I love about you, Eman, is a couple of things. I love a lot of things. Is you really listen to the advice you're given, and there's so many times where something will come up and I'll be like, that's amazing that you did that. And you're like, yeah, I'm not saying it all comes from me, but you really listen to, like, I remember you said this, like, I remember you said, talk about the projects that you want to get. So that's what I did. And you take that from everyone as well. Like, you listen to the advice you're given and you put it into practice, and you're constantly pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And that is what makes you so noticeable in the industry. You really push yourself. There's no safe space, apart from the group, that you're just kind of hunkered down going, it's a bit too scary, so I'm not going to do it. So I just want to applaud you for that, because that's what will make your best month your every month, and you will keep resetting that bar.
Thank you.
So I mentioned your email list, but where can people find you if they want to connect with you, either to follow you for your stellar marketing, but also to hire you?
Oh, you can find me at Inkhouse Writing on Instagram and Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn with just my name, or of course my website, inkhouse.org.uk.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Eman. I've kept you for long enough. I know you've got other things to do. I really appreciate the stuff you've shared with me today.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
All right, cool. I'll see you later.
Bye.